call our meeting to order and have a moment of prayer. Father God, we thank you for today. Lord, we thank you for meeting with us tonight. Lord, we just ask that you would lead, guide, and direct every decision that we make. May it be in the best interest of each and every citizen here. Be with our police, our fire department, our service workers, Father God, wherever they might be tonight. We ask in Jesus' name, amen. James, would you do the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to number 4, agenda approval, and we'd like to amend, Nathan, the agenda for tonight.
Can we add 10B, discuss the GMA agreement between the city?
And for the franchise agreement? Can I get a second? Second. Okay, Chrissy, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Okay. Move on to public hearing on the annexation, 04N03027. Okay, we open this one up, right? Okay.
You don't have to open it.
You just say it,
Say it.
go ahead and open up the public hearing for the annexation.
Anybody here from the applicant?
There is. Or is it, yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
Hello.
They may want to.
Would you like to address the council?
Yeah, so we are looking at purchasing that property there to put in a precast concrete manufacturing facility. We're currently in business right now and have been since 1956 on Highway 20 incoming, right outside of Freeholm. So with the widening of that Highway 20, the 4-lane right there, it's going to just eliminate our parking lot, and we're going to lose the ability to be able to turn east and west onto Highway 20. So we're looking for something new, and I'm friends with the Holcombs, and they have the property, and we'll be buying ready-mix concrete there from Ernst, which is just right around the corner inside the quarry. And possibly in the future, we may be manufacturing our own concrete on site, ready-mix. And if we do, be in close proximity to the quarry out there, it'll be, it'll be real advantageous for us. It won't cost us a lot of money to move our materials from point A to point B. So we'll have about 50 employees, 8 trucks, 2 probably 60 by 120 manufacturing facilities, about 30 foot tall, metal buildings, and then probably 3,000 to 4,000 square foot office. That's it.
Council? Anybody have any questions?
I got one. Can I speak?
Yes, sir. State your name, please. And
Tony Wilkie. I live adjoining that property.
Yes, sir.
Me and my mom owns 16 acres there.
Mm-hmm.
What hours of operation are you all going to run that company?
6 to 4:30.
6 to 4:30 daily?
Yep. Very few Saturdays. I mean, sometimes we have to, but we try not to do. I'd say last year we probably worked maybe 5 to 6 Saturdays.
What kind of noise decibel does that put off? Never been around that, but I've been around that quarry plenty.
It's similar. It's similar as far as our equipment is similar to the quarry. The loudest thing we do there is wheel loaders, like they use at the quarry, just not anywhere as big, not near as big. So the loudest thing you're going to hear, there's no horn. I mean, there's backup horns on the equipment, but as far as like big loud air horns or vibrators that just will rattle your ears, none of that.
What location on that property are you planning on building that?
I'm gonna try to get as deep in there as I can get. I'm gonna leave a buffer around all of it. So
On the back left end of it, is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you have a site sketch?
Ma'am?
Do you have a site sketch?
Oh, what else?
A site sketch?
Oh, no, I do not yet. We're working on that right now. I've got an engineer that's drawing it up, going to show that. I should have that by the end of the week. It'll be really rough, but I'll have it.
Yeah, we discussed that
They
earlier.
should be,
There was a delay.
There was a map of somewhere on one of them papers
I
that,
can get the Q public if you want to see just a sketch of the property. Like to show them like an
Yeah.
overview.
Would you like to see that?
I know how the property
Okay,
lays,
you do.
I just didn't know where they was planning on putting the plant.
That's the paperwork, I think, I don't know if it's got the stuff in it.
We'll know more, and I can get with you once I get that site plan. I'll be happy to share a copy of it.
If y'all want to see it, I can pull it, I'll show you.
Any
I
other
think I just
concerns,
put the
Mr.
paperwork
Wilkie?
in there, but-
No, that's the only concern I had, is I didn't know where they were gonna locate the plant relative, because my property is right straight in line here.
Yeah.
Side by side?
There was just a delay we talked about.
My back fence line will be his property line.
Okay. Gotcha.
I was just concerned about the noise was off.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that, I just concerned about noise from, about that quarry. I've lived there 61 years,
Yes, sir.
and that quarry is really loud. It shakes the dishes in my house. Every day they blast, it shakes the dishes in my cabinets. So I was just kind of concerned about the noise.
we go to bed hearing backup beepers and we wake up hearing backup
That's
beepers.
fine.
Well, the main difference, because I lived within a quarter mile of a quarry before I moved to Jasper, and the main difference that you'll notice ours to that, if you hear their crushers running, I don't know if you can hear that. Well, you know, that's all day long, I mean, it never.
Yeah.
Ours is more kind of intermittent, you know what I mean, the things you would hear there, whether you hear a bang here or there, or a dump truck gate slam
Yeah.
here or there. But it's not a constant all day.
Okay.
You feel like your question was answered to your satisfaction?
Yeah, I would like to see the site plan.
Yep, I'll get it to, I gotta get it to everybody, so.
But yes, my question.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else?
My understanding is you do most of your casting and everything inside your buildings,
It'll all be inside.
so all the work's inside.
Yep.
I'm sorry, you said your name.
Jeremy Denton?
Okay, we spoke on the phone.
Yeah, that's right, okay, yep.
Yeah, his operation actually happens inside his buildings, so storage out on the yard, and
That's right.
trucks coming it out. You said roughly 50 employees, you think you'll be fully staffed when you come over, or would that
I
be local hiring if you find anybody?
if I go to work.
Everybody?
Yeah, I mean, we could, I could put on 5 or 6 people right now. So, I mean, we're not what I consider, especially in the new facility, we're not, because we're gonna grow, we only have one building now. So with this new facility, I'm probably, I would think 64, 65 people probably eventually. And I've got probably 42 that I know would come with me. I've got a few that live like in downtown Cumming or over towards Beaufort that probably, maybe a problem for them. But a lot of my employees live in Cherokee County now. So.
Any questions? Vote on consent. Okay, all right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and we'll open the floor for public comment on anything we have on the agenda this evening.
Yeah, I'd like to, my name's MC Arterburn. I live over in Winchester Oaks. We talked at our HOA meeting about a potential sidewalk installation that I know has been on y'all's radar for years likely, but just wanted to bring that up, see what that could look like for a future plan. I know I'm a big runner around here and would love to see just more sidewalks in the area, so.
Gotcha.
What was your name again?
MC Mary Arterburn.
Do you know where that's at on our,
We just got back to the master park plan, just came back this past week, because it'll be on the April agenda.
yeah, and I have not had time to review that yet,
Well,
but
and that's one of the things, and as far as talking about the finance part, we have a budget coming up, which means our capital improvement plan is coming up as well. So we need to start talking about capital projects.
The other catch with that too, that I think we needed to check into is some of that, do we have the right of way in that area? Because we don't own the roads out there.
No.
Because it's come up before. I know it's something that, it's definitely an issue, because I know whenever I'm walking the dogs that kind of like you, it's like we have too much effort, so it's like you're walking, somebody's gonna fly up behind you going 60 miles an hour and you're in the ditch.
May come into play too, if we do the intergovernmental agreement with Pickens, we may be able to make it a little smoother.
Yeah.
too.
But it's something we'd have to definitely be dealing with the county at the same time. But it's, I know Mike had dealt with that some, I know there was conversations with him in the county with it previously, I just know there were some issues just because they own the road there. And there's also a water line, I'm not sure which side of the road that's on.
I've seen the other day, I'm not real sure though.
They hit the water line because they had it marked wrong.
Yeah, I walked up right as it was bubbling up.
Yes, so fun.
Let's add the beginning talks for capital projects to the April agenda, and I'll get with you with, I'd like to look at our finished projects for 2022 to current, and also our projects to start. I knew that we put a priority on some of those, and I'd like to see where they are, and then I'll take those to Jeff, and I'd like to see where he's going to be able to fit us in. Okay. We'll have something for them by April, gives us something. And I'll email you, Miranda. All right.
Yeah, as far as Jeff and Cherokee County, I'm starting to think that if we can't start getting some dates out of them, we may have to start looking at some vendors to actually start accomplishing some stuff, even though it may take a little more funding. I know we saved something dealing with the county, but if we're
We
going
saved
for,
quite a lot.
yeah, we did save quite a lot, but if we're going for years telling the
That's
public
the
that.
problem, because we're still
Oh,
waiting.
I mean,
to
I
have
heard it
trains
at our
cleared.
HOA, everything. We keep hearing, so.
The intent's good, but it just takes.
The intent is wonderful.
I think, I know that the drains and Kennesaw Avenue paving,
But there were also issues with the brush cutting, like they were just chunks that,
okay. Let's talk about that. I have a meeting with him the first of next week.
I still really have to pay for that, and invoices for brush hogging, whatever.
Okay, well, it needs to be done what we asked, and it was, that's what you're telling me. You told me.
I mean, it's kind of,
Okay, so let's get with,
I think it was just one section
what they did.
that they didn't do.
So this is section, we'll find out where that is. And I'll get that information for that meeting. Get something for you guys back on air in April on that, and if we need to look elsewhere, then we can. Okay. Next up is the approval of the minutes from February the 13th, 2023. Can I get a motion to approve those?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
And a second?
Second.
Nathan? All in favor? Unanimous? Thank you. All righty. Next up is going to be department reports. Lieutenant Downey, if you could come.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Cherokee side.
For call volume, it was actually pretty slow this month. There is personal things on there, that's where I leave off the addresses on some of these calls, but we did assist DFACs in one of our neighborhoods in reference to some juveniles that weren't being treated properly. We had several extra patrols. Jordan Road was one of our priorities. Here at City Hall is also, and then our complaint roads around the area. We have a trespassing call up here at Revis Mountain and Bethesda Trail. We're going to keep an eye on that lady. She's got some other issues going on. And then one of my guys made a traffic stop down here at City Park and arrested someone with some marijuana and some THC. But there was 3 individuals in the car. Real quick, this property, is that between the quarry and Jordan Road? Okay, so that, the times?
There's two tracks, that's a different owner that people dump trash and stuff. Our property line is at the Nelson city limit side.
Okay, so the entrance to your shop would be off,
What is,
Not Jordan Street, it won't be off Jordan.
Off
Road.
Jordan,
It'll be
okay.
off the other road.
I was just curious, just from, a law enforcement standpoint, traffic and things like that. But that's all I have.
Any questions? Yes, sir, Mr. Eunice. Did you state your name and?
Yeah, I'm James L. Eunice.
Mm-hmm.
Need address or anything?
Yes.
3005 Cypress Cove,
Mm-hmm.
Nelson,
Yes, sir.
30107. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Deputy, a lot of people have been keeping up with current events. There's a big fear with everything from economic collapse to an electromagnetic pulse attack. And anybody that's not familiar with all this stuff just frankly hasn't been awake. Are there any contingency plan? I know you can't go into details, but are any contingency plans for the citizens of this county to do something to prepare themselves or
As far as what?
any classes on first aid, any informing people through the county extension service about long-term storage food and being proactive to inform people of this stuff? Because a lot of the scuttlebutt now is that something's gonna blow.
Well, and you look at this from two different directions. You look from a law enforcement side and a civilian side. Law enforcement, you know, there's nothing that we can do to help people ration food or whatever you're thinking as far as an economic collapse, right?
I'm thinking about a full spectrum of stuff.
Right, but look what's going on in Atlanta, right? Look what happened just last night,
Yeah.
you know, with the attacks on the police officers. We always have plans in place for things like that. The good news is, you know, Cherokee, Pickens, Bartow, Cobb, we all have good working relationships where if something was catastrophic to hit our area, you're gonna have response from several different agencies very quickly. As far as classes and things like that, you're not gonna see anything probably offered through the county, but there is other stuff out there online to help prepare you for those type of survival classes and things like that.
I'm familiar with them.
We ourselves as officers have survival classes that we can take, but it's not open to the citizens. It's through the our post certification that we carry. But if you're looking for a direction to head, I would go online and see what they have. We don't offer anything at the sheriff's office directly as far as those classes. The thing that we probably offer the most to our citizens is our Citizen Academy through the sheriff's office, and that kind of gives you a better understanding of where we're at in law enforcement, how we handle situations, and things like that moving forward.
And in talking with Mr. Eunice, I think one of the questions that he has that he just wasn't able to convey is he wants to make sure that Cherokee County has in place emergency plans in case something does happen.
Absolutely,
Is that correct?
whether it be riots that come up from Atlanta, whether it be, you know, storms, we always have emergency action plans in place. Our officers are trained on that. It's in our policies. We have an all-call alert that we have that goes out to our officers at any moment that a captain can summons everybody back to work. There's all types of things that we plan for. Obviously, there's things that we can't plan for. I don't know if you remember the 2009 floods, but
Yeah, I remember.
we called everybody in for that. You know, we had patrol cars that were washed away, but that was kind of a catastrophic event that hit our county, and we responded and handled it as best as we could as law enforcement. And then you have fire's responsibility. Then you have all our volunteers and their responsibility. So there's an action plan always in place for everything that we do. We try to plan for everything. I'm sure there's some things we're not prepared for, but that's not one of them. If we have a group that comes up from Atlanta, we've got riot shield, there's all kinds of things.
That was one of our, the former neighborhood watch we had over in Laurel Lake had some issues. I think you're familiar with it.
Okay.
And that was one of the issues we were planning for was incendiary wells coming up in here in force.
Right.
Okay, we were also considering an electromagnetic pulse attack. I don't know if a lot of people know what that is. You explode a nuclear weapon above Kansas 200 miles and it fries all that. All of a sudden, no computers, no cars run.
EAP.
Electricity, yeah, EMP. And it would send us back to the 1850s. Well, without electricity in this society, they estimate, and this is government estimation now, about 200 million people would die in the first 18 months.
Right.
And there are rogue nations out there that actually have specific nuclear weapons for this purpose,
Right.
okay? You know, this great reset they're talking about, well, that's nothing more than an engineered economic collapse. I mean, if you've been watching that.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, instead of sitting here doing nothing, if maybe,
Well, there's a lot of things that you don't realize that we do behind the scenes.
okay,
When it comes to our electrical grid here in the county, that's actually one of our top concerns.
it's been attacked.
Right, in other states and
Yeah.
stuff like that, so that's something we patrol every day. We work with Georgia Power and Cobb EMC, Amico Electric, Sony, all those electrical companies we got great relationships with, and we do patrols, and if somebody's not supposed to be there, we run them off. Now, if you're asking what we're gonna do if somebody hits our grid, that's a power company issue, we'll just supply the security. So, I'm sure they have a plan in place as well, any large organization always does.
Thank you for that, Lieutenant Downey. And I'm sure, Jim, if you've got any more questions, he will do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anybody else have anything? Okay. Next up's going to be mayor's report. Just a reminder, GMA training this year's in June. I believe everybody has an email on it, but if you need information about that training that's going to be coming up in June, reach out to us, Council. We'll be happy to help you with it. I think the sign up is going to be March the 30th.
I think March 30th is when it opens, but they haven't, they've sent out.
They don't have a list of
available
sign
cards,
up
but they
last year.
haven't listed the stuff that's available for elected officials yet.
So I should have something, I'm checking daily, so we should have something shortly. Next up is our Easter event. I did meet with Kim Barr, who's agreed to help us again this year, and we are going to be putting a flyer on the door. We've got our Easter sign, we're going to get it up on the fence line this week, so we will be having an Easter event. We're going to change it up a little bit. We're not going to try to do hamburgers and hot dogs. I think we're just going to do like we did at the Christmas and just do like a sheet cake and some cookies and stuff for the kids. The egg hunt, stuff like that. So we've got Ricky prepping the field and he'll set it all up for us. So if anybody wants to volunteer to be a bug, we would appreciate it.
And I think Downey said he's really
He
gonna do.
did say that he would. April the
Yeah,
1st.
so you have that costume, right?
The what?
The bunny costume.
Yeah, no.
I think, look on your calendar, I think it's April the 1st.
Keep dragging me.
Question, it was Stephen.
That buddy costume's probably way too tall, too.
No, we'll have
We
it on.
have one that's just your size.
No.
Is it,
I will order you one.
it's April the 1st, I think that's Saturday is when we're looking at.
I think it's the second.
It's gonna be on Saturday.
April the 1st is Saturday.
Yeah, so we're going on April Fool's Day.
April Fool's is
Yeah, it's gonna be April the 1st is Saturday. We always try to do it like the following Saturday right before Easter, and when we do it, we have some catastrophic event. It either floods or last year it snowed. So we're gonna mix it up a little bit and we're gonna do it the weekend before. So if anybody would like to be our bunny, we would really appreciate it. So,
that came fun.
yeah, well, listen, I was thinking that if you would do it, David, you don't have to hop. You could just simply sit in a chair and wave and have eggs and then, pass some candy. But anyway, that's all I have for right now. I did, well, no, I did give, I hollered at Barry about our stuff. He should have something for us by the end of the week, he said. Or that was the end of last week, so I should be getting an email from him this week, and then he's gonna come and, at, I believe, our April meeting and talk about phase 2 for the council. And so we can get that.
Actually just asked.
Yeah, we want to get that moving. So we also have, and I believe the kiddie park is on here. If you noticed, all of our stuff has been removed down here. So we're ready for that to start mid-month with our new equipment. So any questions on those things?
Soon as we get to the kiddie park.
Okay, yeah, well, it's down, I didn't cover that one, only this one over here. So we're gonna be starting that, I think it's the 13th is what they said, so I'm gonna check back in with her this week just to make sure we're still on schedule. Next up is gonna be C, finance report. I'll turn it over to Miranda.
All right, okay, so we'll go over bank balances first. General funds at $1,026,939. SPOS 4, Old Cherokee is $226,365. SPOS 2, that's the Old Pickens, is $329,160. SPOS 5, $735,547. The cash reserve fund is $167,627. SPOS 2020, which is the new Pickens, $727,758. And then CARES is $242,559. That's good for the berry thing, because you remember we only have so many years.
As soon as I get something, as soon as I get something back from him this week, I'll go ahead and forward that over to you, so you just put that into our capital improvement talk for April.
Perfect.
Okay?
Perfect. Yeah, so that's one of the things I wanted to go over was the budget calendar. I'd like to have use April as the month to discuss, build, and that way I can start putting everything into order. Preliminary drafts for the budget and the capital improvement. I'd like to do that the first, or the meeting in May, the first of the month. And then June, have the adoption of the June meeting of the both. So if we could work that in, or maybe we even need a work session, I'm not certain.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it, and we definitely are gonna need when we start talking about capital improvement stuff. We can have a work session just for our budgets.
Yeah.
You want to do that, we can do that.
Yeah, that sounds
mid-April.
good. I would like April to be the month that we really hone in on figuring out where we're headed and making plans for next
I
year.
totally agree.
All right, so budget as far as revenue of expenditures and statement of revenues and expenditures, sorry. We have 21% remaining on our revenues, should be 33% or more, so obviously we're doing good there. All the other line items should be 33% or more remaining. We're looking really good because at the end of the day, we are at 56% as far as our remaining budget for our expenditures. That's really all I have.
Any questions regarding finances for Miranda from the council? Okay. Okay, we'll move on to unfinished business. Maintenance equipment, mini excavator price increase. Kelsey, I'll go ahead since you've done all the work on that, turn it over to you.
The one that we originally approved, the total amount was $66,400. The one that they ended up getting was an upgraded machine. So there was a difference in price on it. The way he broke it down, the estimate was a little bit different because he included the trade-ins, but the other machines, which I did on the council, let's check it on here. So the total out of pocket on this is going to be $27,175. There's a difference, I think it's right at $5,000 total, because there was a 4% price increase on the one that we purchased also.
And we're still waiting on that one. We don't
Yeah,
have
it's
delivery
there.
date for- It is now.
No, it's there, it's been there, but they take a week and a half to 2 weeks to put it together. So we could, yes. I don't know that either. So we've turned it in, but I just need approval for the,
So the $27,175, does that account for the 4% increase?
yes.
Okay.
This is for the machine, the upgraded version that we're getting from Nelson Tractor.
Okay.
Because this one had the, I guess it was the 6-way angle blade, and it has kind of a dual ox thing.
And we have a brush cutter, and then we've got trade-ins, $39,500.
And they did say that we could potentially keep one of the buckets if it fit the new one. So we did ask them that. So,
Any other questions about that for you? About it?
What was we trading in? I can't even remember.
trading in the
It's right here.
2014 backhoe and the other 2001 tractor that I didn't even know we had. Because they're the same color and they park right in front of each other. So surprise, we have 2 tractors. And the guys don't drive it, it literally has been sitting there in the way, taking a bunch of shop space. So I think the 2014 that the city paid right at 50 for that one, they're giving us 39, if I remember right. So it's not, it's pretty good trade-in value. And I actually thought that it was gonna decrease.
So a trade-in value of $45,750.
Yeah.
So. All right. Any other questions before we take a vote? We get a motion to approve the $27,175 for the upgraded excavator, Mini X, with the attachments.
I'll make a
So
motion.
trade-in. Okay, James? Can I get a second?
Second.
Nathan, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Next up is the kitty park. Grading prep for new equipment. So this is the one that we talked about for the $3,000. They'll grade it, they'll level it all out, and they will trim any of the trees back. We opted to just have the trees trimmed back now and not take them down until we can review them and decide. You guys let's take a look and maybe have somebody, an arborist or somebody, suggest a type of hardwood we can put back there that will grow with the park.
I think that I asked Matt, they said they are all Bradford pears.
They are, they're
And I
gonna
think
split,
they're the ones
just
that-
like mine.
Well, I think Michael said that they've already hit their max.
They have. They won't take those down, that wasn't in the quote, but
I
they
know,
will
I'm
cut
just
the
saying,
branches
it
back.
was, we discussed it last time, I'm not sure if they were.
You have any recommendations since your business for something that'll grow with the city that's like a hardwood that'll be there for a while?
To get really big.
Not huge, I mean, you can go look at the area that's there. Offer some shade, and maybe even around. And come back with us with maybe some suggestions.
Okay.
Okay.
Those willow oaks are pretty.
Willow oaks?
Yeah.
No.
Messy. Just.
Maybe on the outside, because we've got some space that's, we're not doing a whole lot with.
As long as you can,
And it,
as long as you have a place to blow the
And the leaves.
leaves to, then it doesn't matter. But they are nice. They just shed everything all at one time.
well, it's right next to that, that kid park is right next to that easement that we have there.
Okay.
But where the stroller and stuff goes, so take a look at it. We can, and I don't mind coming out and doing that with you. Anybody else have any suggestions?
As far as trees, no.
Okay. We'll leave that to you then. Take a look at it if you don't mind.
Sure.
And so we did get the chain link fence removed, and we did get the playground equipment out. So now it's ready for the prep.
Yeah, the communications, when we talked about this, was under the impression that they were doing all the demo and all the grading.
So here's the deal with it, they would haul it off. So as far as the demo goes, they would have took it out and hauled it off, but it was an extra $1,500. They were coming in, with the price that she gave us was for grading, and the email that I have says it's for grading and for not the demo of the equipment. So if they demoed the equipment, it's what she's come back and said it was an extra. It would, when she talked to the crew, she gave us the price, and then when she talked to them, and it was just a figurative, it wasn't a quote or anything like that. She had to come back to them with that. She said it was $1,500 just to remove the equipment.
Who did the demo of the equipment and all?
Our maintenance guy.
On his own time.
With city equipment?
No. I think
Well,
he just used the truck.
he used a truck to move it, but yeah, he did.
To get it,
He had to get,
it out of
and
the
what he
ground.
did is he got
He got the bits and
all the
stuff.
concrete and stuff out of there. So it's ready for grading.
Talked to Carrie a little while ago, and don't think that they're planning on the extent of grading, that cleaning up that bank and all. She said that they won't do that. So I don't know that we're gonna end up with what we want all the way. It's gonna probably have to be some more grading done. She said they don't like, the slope needs to be cleaned up so you can transition between the two areas. And she said they won't do that. They're talking about just doing, basically cleaning that area up and leveling out right where the equipment goes.
I thought that the swing set was gonna go back and that was the need for sloping that.
No, it was just to clean it up to make the park safer, so we were gonna fence the whole area in.
Okay,
to that.
so you think we'll need it,
Stay up on the upper area.
so you think we'll need additional grading?
Over and above what they've said, yeah, if we're gonna do that.
And they won't do it.
She wasn't real clear on taking the wooden fence down.
But we specifically talked about the wooden fence, and that's
Well, I
the
think
purpose of
that-
ordering a
I think
dumpster. So let me make a note to call her tomorrow.
And yeah, just to be aware that it's not grading the whole area, just
Yeah.
cleaning up what's there and getting the prep done.
Well, did you guys want to spend
We
the
can get
$3,000 to do that, or do you want to have them hold the equipment another month and try to find somebody to grade that area like we want it?
With them having to rent the dumpsters and the equipment and the manpower, I don't have a problem with letting them go ahead and getting all that taken care of, but we're trying to find either somebody to finish up the grading, or if the guys can do it with our equipment. It's not that major, but it's more than they're planning on doing.
Then they could work around that new equipment, couldn't they? I'm just gonna be,
I believe that they would be able to, because all of that would be outside of the
It just have to
play area.
be, yeah, it'd have to be done before we put fencing up, and we would not want to wait long to do that with that being a busy road.
Yeah, so we need to
Small.
get either the guys, I don't know if our equipment, you got a grading professional there, he could probably.
Are you gonna be able to get those trees down later if the equipment's in?
It costs more, but I'm hoping, I stopped up there and looked at them, if you're standing there on what used to be the little street that got closed off, the first one on the left-hand side at the wooden fence it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead, we've got until the mid, I can push it out a little bit, we can go ahead and get somebody that's done the trees before for us and give them a call and see if they'll come remove that.
The other three could probably, but that one hangs pretty bad over the fence and their driveway and everything, it looks pretty rough. The other three probably could prune up and stay for a while and start maybe phasing in and out or something. But I hate to see all the big trees come down at one time and leave it a big sunny spot.
Yeah.
But that one's pretty bad.
Will you take an action to get, I don't know who did, was it Gonzalez or who did the
It's
last?
almost at the trees the last time, just depends on the schedule.
That first one on the left-hand side, I would not put my feelings.
On the left-hand side?
If you're standing there, at your back to the community garden, looking at the playground, the
Straight
first
on.
one on the left-hand side, it's already split out once years ago, it looks like there's a huge damage on it.
Okay,
And it's real heavy leaning over the other property.
okay. We'll see if we can, let's see if we can get a hold of him tomorrow.
The others should be pruned up. Probably help.
Alrighty, and then, get the equipment in, and then before we put any type of fencing back in, just back into somebody coming and grading that
Yeah,
area.
they're planning on handling everything right with the equipment in that area, but for us to get the rest of it finished up, it's gonna take some more grading, probably somebody different, so they will handle that type of thing.
when's the new excavator supposed to be delivered?
They told me, we talked to him like the day before the pipe thing went in, he said it was 1.5 to 2 weeks before it was assembled. So,
I can push that, I can push it out 2 weeks for delivery. They can come in and do their grading before they ever put that equipment in, and then we
The
can.
tree would be the biggest issue with the
Yeah.
equipment being.
Let me
They
do
could get
that.
tree,
just don't want that
one.
tree to come down and crush the equipment. It's also getting the equipment put in and then not having a fence there, and then kids come try to play on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me get that answer.
Line on the fencing contractor.
I don't know, I mean, she was talking to.
I used to, but they all dead.
Well, the company that did the fence down here at the park, because we had a guy that hit the park fences last year. So we called them to come out and replace it, and he was Marriott Fence Company.
Yeah.
And they were really quick, we didn't have any issues, and I think they did the extra stuff down at the ball field, the netting stuff too.
Been around a while, I know. I know
Yeah.
that name.
So they, I mean, we've dealt with them before with some stuff.
So I'll let them know they can do the site prep, and then we'll get with Gonzalez and see if he can do that. I'll go ahead and I'll just push the install out. I'll get with Carrie and tell her, let me get a tree removal date, and then we'll do it.
Do you want to try to
Hopefully,
get
a couple of weeks.
pricing and grading for the whole thing before putting it? Or do you want to go ahead and do that?
Do both, I mean, because, I mean, it's better to know. I mean, if we're gonna spend $3,000 just to grade that, and they're not gonna remove the fence in the back, well, I mean, and that's what we talked about, was the removal and limb those trees that was in there. If we're not gonna do that, then we see if we can get a price on, if we're gonna get the back up the grading, just do it all. And then we'll have a comparison.
Yeah.
But I'll talk with her tomorrow and ask her exactly what that 3,500 covers, because,
Is this the fence you're talking about, designing?
no, it's the back fence.
It's a wood
back.
fence, it's in the
It
back.
says back fence and code.
Okay, so it does say
It
that.
says trim trees back as needed.
So that is on the
Remove and
code.
dispose of
that's-
existing.
So and she says no?
The border also, I don't know what that is.
There's a border that goes around the playground.
Six by
Yeah.
six, six.
Let
The
me,
guys can take that, Matt actually asked me if he could go ahead and take that up.
so all we would have is just the grading then.
He asked me this morning if he could go ahead and grab that and take
Just
it
give them
up.
a dumpster or something, probably, or.
Yeah, well, we did open a contract with that Marble Alley thing up here for stuff that, for our guys to use.
I don't see it. Yeah, you can't take those timbers up there.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Udis, for coming.
We'll have dumpsters back next month too. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that we had talked about that back then, so I was surprised, so I'll
Yeah, that's
call
what it
her.
says on here, that's what
Yeah.
they say, the back fence. And
Oh,
that's
there
what
are
the chain link
different
was called out someplace else.
Yeah, let me have a conversation with her, because I'll push it out in a few weeks anyway, and we'll get with Gonzalez tomorrow and get that. And then let's just get a price for that piece of it and overall, and each of our guys can grade it and they can.
They might be able to level out just where the stuff's going out and underneath the stuff, keep it.
Just
I don't
the
know if you
sloping.
I don't know. You might know.
Do
I don't know if
we,
we're gonna have the equipment to do that.
That's what I
do we know what kind of sloping we want on that?
I wish I know, he said he can do he can mow a 3-to-1.
It just needs a couple of loads of dirt, but I mean, it's smoothed up, really.
Yeah, it's not a major looking job, but there's some dirt there, I think, available too. You could soften up that slope coming off of that swell at the top probably and pull some over there.
Yeah.
And that mulch was all done. I had the guys check it. It had all started to be yuck. We haven't put any in a long time.
They should be able to pull that fence down themselves if she's not going to, I mean.
Well, that's the whole thing, I think.
I think they
She
probably
sounded
can.
like somebody may have been talking to someone else up there too.
Yeah,
She said a different, maybe Jen?
well, there's a crew, so she had to get information from the crew. I guess she has to talk to the people that actually do the work for them.
Yeah.
She gave us a quote, so we've got that quote to go off of, but I made sure that fence was included.
I don't know, we had talked about it. It seemed weird that they were demoing everything, you yanked down the fence, it was on the verge of falling, it didn't
Yeah.
make sense.
We can get with Matt and then get them to do that and get the border up, so we don't have to do that, then we just have the grading.
They could,
There,
there's some of that we can
there's
do
a
on the
lot
clock
of
that
marble
we
and
can get.
stuff in that, so I don't know. Stopped up there and looked at it before I come down here, and they marble laying everywhere. I mean, it might
it's like
not
my
hurt
front
to let
yard.
them work on the area the playground goes into. I don't know if if that may even end up being too much for them out of the south, but they need to go down here and look at it.
See, that's where it's horrible.
I'm
They
gonna
put
have
up those
a,
frames and everything with the posts and all.
yeah.
There's a lot of marble laying around, just what you can see.
There's marble everywhere. It's like when they did the stuff for our septic, the stuff that they were pulling up out of our yard was,
I'll get her to come
There's
to us
probably a big
out.
chunk everywhere they need to
it's
set
like marble the
posts.
size of like colleague, I was shaking his head. It's like marble slab the size of cars.
I'll get her to
Great on
come.
a tractor.
I'll see about get her to come do a sidewalk. I'll
I
let you
just
guys
had
know
my
if it's
tinnitus
you want to come
removed
down.
too.
But I've been telling all this week, so
She's gonna call me back tomorrow and stuff, but you're gonna be getting hold of you.
I'll call first thing in the morning,
That's
yeah.
cool.
All right. All right, we'll move on then for that. I got an action here to get with her, push the install tree removal and look at the grading and possible sidewalk prior to scheduling.
If we hire a contractor, I'd say us tear that sidewalk out that sign post, it's just stuck up
Oh,
there.
you don't like that? That's city history.
It doesn't have nothing on the green.
Okay, we're gonna like make a rule, it's not coming to City Hall then.
So make a note, so tear out the,
Yeah, that
Different
little section of
holes,
sidewalk has been, it's
Hole
just
is
there
the
by
different
itself.
number.
Well, that's-
You know where
That
it is.
parking area, and that whole
Oh,
corner
yeah.
and everything, I think is in Michael's design.
Is it?
If I'm not mistaken, it is, because I think we
It
did
is.
basically everything outside the fence. We could go
Yeah.
with his design as far as parking and sidewalk and everything,
Yeah.
so it may be accounted in there.
it is, it's in
Some
there.
back, but, yeah, the big rusty metal sign,
You could put it up in the middle of the little park and make it make go around.
that would turn into something not nice.
I think we should make it grass.
Not happening.
We'll do that, and I'll send a text message out to everybody on the phone tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. So new business, item 10, the pipe replacement, Kennesaw Avenue emergency repair. Kelsey, you want to fill us in?
Yeah, we had an issue up here, the pipe from Kennesaw Avenue, and HVAC's already fixed it. This was an emergency thing that happened last week. The total on it, $8,727. I just need a vote so I can get them minutes recorded and get paid. They'll end up coming out of LMIG funds, or we have a 30% match, but we have LMIG funds from this year that haven't been used either.
Can I get a motion to approve the $8,727 repair for the pipe at Kennesaw Avenue?
I make a motion.
James?
Second.
And David, second. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. You can make a note here. Okay. Next up is item B, GMA, of the City of Nelson, franchise agreement. We talked about this a little bit here at the beginning of the meeting, but Kelsey did she did this for, I believe it was with TDS, and was it 2 years ago, Kelsey? And I know you've got quite a bit of that straightened up, and you're actually getting franchise dollars back.
I think it was right at 2 years ago. The problem is most of these companies base franchise fees on zip codes. Well, our core zip code is 301.1, but most of them base it on mailing zip codes, which ours, we have three. One's Ball Ground, one's Jasper, and then the other one's Nelson. So TDS was actually paying a lot of our franchise fees to Ball Ground. We got that one fixed, but all these other companies, we don't know if the annexation stuff was ever sent in. We're just not sure. Some of it's stuff that we could possibly handle, but we're not gonna get the results the company will get. GMA offers the service. They'll actually go through, get a list of 911 addresses from both counties, go in, do a deep dive, make sure the city's getting what they're supposed to be getting, and they'll go back 3 years. So if there's money that's supposed to be coming to the city, they'll get it fixed. They know it gets it fixed going forward too.
And this cost is $1,050. I do think it's beneficial. It doesn't have to be done yearly. We could opt for something like 1 year and then do it again in 5 years. But we did gain.
I think that's what we've done once before.
Possible, maybe we put it on a schedule 1 to 3 years, I don't know, but I think it's worth having somebody look in. It's a lot of manpower, so them doing stuff that would be very time consuming for us. to
We
do.
got 3,000 or 4,000 back, just the stuff that we checked with TDS. So I mean, that was just one company. They're gonna go back, I don't know, for 3 years. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just falls off that you don't catch. We found, I think, 27 parcels that have fallen off the Pickens Tax Digest, that just, stuff just happens. So if you have somebody that's just putting eyes on it and auditing it, and that is their sole job,
Yeah.
kind of.
It is a lot of work, but I mean, if you have the tools to do it with, and
Yeah.
it's not, and they do, so. There's over 200 cities that's currently doing that, so.
Yeah, and for that amount of money, That's definitely worth it. It's $1,050.
And I recommend doing it, but go ahead and take a vote on that. If I could, I'd like to get a motion to approve this agreement for the GMA for $1,050. The franchise agreement. Can I get a motion to approve it?
That's just a one-time fee, right?
For right
It's
now,
for-
yes.
It's for a year. It's a one-year agreement that can be renewed.
What
There's
all
two-
are we prospected to get out of this? I mean,
They're gonna go back and check the franchise fees. It does not cover Georgia Power, and it does not cover AGL. It will cover, they'll go back over the TDS one, they'll go back over the one for ETC, and they'll go over the one for Amicalola. The ones for the other two, it will give us the address list that we can submit to them. So that from there on out, they will be paying the correct ones. Like I said, the one that we did here for TDS, netted several $1,000s, and we're not even 100% sure that they have all of our addresses.
yeah.
Those are the ones that we know of, that we caught on this end.
Just in cable TV and telephone, we've got it budgeted for $7,000
Yeah.
in
I don't have
franchise
any
fees.
problem like doing a 1 year thing. Like,
I think it's worth trying it.
talk
just
about it
to
next
get
year.
the- So the results
Yeah, I don't
are.
think it would, we're a small town, I don't think it would need to be every year, but maybe set something up where we
We
can
just
look
have
at it
to
again every 3 to 4
cancel it
years.
before it renews.
As a 30-year, I mean, a 30-day
It won't,
opt-out thing.
it won't renew automatically.
It
It
does.
does renew.
It states it.
Since when they changed the verbiage.
It's
Most
on that
of them.
one page to look at, they say on there,
It
give
is,
you 30
it's
days
an auto
to
renew,
opt,
you
so
don't-
you just have to
yeah.
remember.
Just put it on our calendar. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve it.
William Taylor, got a second?
Second.
James Louder. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm making a motion to adjourn.
Oh, yes, can I get a motion to adjourn?
You have to sign it.
Bad on that.
I was,
Second.
did I get a second? So I got David, I need a second.
James,
James, all in favor? Yeah, sorry.